Should I go glasses or no glasses? What do you think? Glasses? What do you guys
What do you typically do? I like the glasses.
I do them both. Sometimes I switch it up. If I want to feel like really smart, I'm talking to smart people, I put the glasses on. If I just want to kind of
So
relax.
she got the feel now. She's like, glasses off for sure.
I like it. I like it.
Throw the glasses away.
Not with these guys.
Turn my mic up. Take there. Yeah. On the road to the riches. Life takes a toll like bridges. Good friends become foes and snitches. Better watch who knows in your business.
Hustle fam, we are back with another amazing episode, and I am here live on location with two of the GOATs. You guys know what the GOATs are?
Oh, yeah.
Greatest of all time, right? We are here at OTR Capital with two of the founders, CEO, president, all that good stuff. We have here to my left, Mr. Kevin Nolan and Mr. Fritz Owens. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Morning. Thank you for coming in.
Well, listen, first of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. I look forward to having a great conversation and learning more about you guys. I've been looking forward to this interview, and we're going to have some fun. You guys are ready to have some fun?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Listen, I just so you know, I plan on interrogating you guys.
Fun
a
is
little bit,
us.
You know?
Fun is us.
So I was told that I can interrogate you guys a little bit, and you guys are going to give me some straight answers. So is that true?
Maybe.
Well, I'm a freight broker, so I'll give you freight broker straight answers, right?
All right.
Truck's only 2 hours away, man.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, so check it out. So we're going to start here. You guys are cousins, right? You guys are family.
Second cousins.
So this business.
Owens and onions. We used to play football against each other in college at the holidays.
Which was not fair because this guy actually played football in college. Right?
Okay.
But I am 6'5".
Okay. So you had the height advantage. You had the reach.
Fritz would get the fade in the corner all the time.
Right. So you said Owens and onions. What's that?
Yeah.
Is that like a little joke? Is that like an inside?
Yeah. So my mom's one of 8, and they have 5 sisters, and so the men in the family are all Owens, and so the in-laws are the onions.
I like that.
So it's the onions' opportunity to, take out a little family frustration.
Right. So the game
Right.
is
So my dad's in the corner being like, "All right, man, let's get him. Your uncle over there, he said some stuff to me one time. Go get him.
Right. Knock him down. Go knock him down. All right. So when you guys were younger, who was the one beating up who, man? Who was the cousin taking advantage of the other one?
We really just ran into each other during the football games.
That was it.
Yeah, because Kevin's down here in Georgia,
Okay.
and I was growing up in the Northeast. So we just had a few times where we got together, and really wasn't until after college, after school, where, we started kind of a steady dialogue with each other.
Okay. Got you. All right. So you guys have built multiple amazing businesses, right? That consists of Nolan Transportation Group, right? You've built OTR Capital, Marquee Insurance, just a huge conglomerate. I'm sure there's more that we could probably name underneath that umbrella. And if not, there's probably some more coming, right?
Some ideas.
Right.
Some
good
just starting
ones.
out.
Some
that
good
are
ones.
working and brewing. So, what I really want to do is just kind of understand, like, how the inception of these businesses, how this came about, and just kind of bring us to date. So to do that, obviously, we always have to start with the backstory and kind of figure out, how things were coming up. So I want to start with you, Kevin, a little bit of your backstory for the audience who don't know kind of where you came from and a little bit of your history.
Yeah, so I grew up in Marietta, Georgia. Sports competition, always huge in my life. Was fortunate to get a college scholarship to play football at Presbyterian College. They're now non-scholarship and got a crazy coach. Read about it. It's pretty cool.
Could have gone to some bigger schools, but the word on the street was he has little kind of T-Rex arms.
I'm a little short, but listen.
It's getting started already.
So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I do have short arms. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Short arms and deep pockets.
Owens Onions game outside after this right away. See,
Right. Let's take it to the field.
These Owens are a little, they're Connecticut. They got a little pompous to them,
Yeah.
right? Which is good. We like that swag.
in when we can.
All right, back to the story. So, C.H. Robinson loves recruiting young men and women out of college that played sports, social, everything else. So I went and worked for C.H. Robinson, fell in love with the industry. got married early, had a child early, and C.H. Robinson at that point had gone public. They were in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. I love Atlanta. So if I was going to climb the ladder there, I was going to have to move to Eden Prairie. And so was getting my MBA at night, modeled a freight brokerage and said, let's do this. And there wasn't a lot of competition. See, freight brokerage is younger than I am. 1980, deregulation. So at the time, I just saw an incredible opportunity to get into a booming, growing industry. And, I was one of the best. I feel it at C.H. Robinson. I know it. I've been told it. And if I could be the best at the best, why not go do our own thing?
Right.
And then as I started hiring and getting great people, Fritz and I were still hanging out. We were going hunting some. And I told him, I said, man, I'm on to something. I need you. I was going to visit customers in New York, where you guys are from. Okay. And we were in in Jordan's restaurant.
Yeah, we were in Grand Central Station in New York. Right. We sat down. I met him after work, and he's in town to see customers and telling me about the business and how much it's growing, and how it's just a hustle game, right? And that's why I love the name of your business, and because it really is. And he's like, we have a chance to compete against the biggest and the best in this industry. Just need a couple, more of the right people to come in and help me out. And I know how to win business. And, are you interested?
All right, Hustle fam, listen, y'all. I am here live on location at OTR Capital. Happy to announce our new strategic partnership with OTR Capital. I'm here with Grace Marr, my friend. How are you, Grace?
Awesome. It's so good to have you here.
When we align with somebody, align with a brand, we wanted to make sure that we had the right people standing behind us and that could help our community and kind of take them further along in their journey, because we can only bring them so far, right? We need to create those strategic partnerships to take them to the next level. And that's what I think that this relationship and this partnership is going to do. Grace, tell the people a little bit about OTR and what you guys do.
Yeah, thanks, Ramel. So we are a factoring company. We've been doing this for 10 years. We're dedicated to trucking companies' success and offering tools and services to help them to continue to succeed. Education is so important to us for our clients and helping them continue to grow their business. I know we have similar missions. We really do care about trucking companies, and we're both from a trucking background. OTR isn't a financial services company coming off of a bank. We're based out of transportation and third-party logistics company, and you yourself, ran trucking and had a CDL. So It's like, for us, it's amazing to be able to come together in this way.
The culture here is awesome. I love working with you guys. I love the people here. And it's great, man. I think we could do some beautiful things together, create epic content, add epic value. And I'm really excited and looking forward to doing this with you guys. I mean, it took me a long time to really, partner with someone in this way. And I decided to do it with you guys because I feel that you're the right company to add value to our audience.
We completely agree. We're super excited, thrilled to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Truck and Hustle OTR, we're now together. We're locked in. Hustle fam, we love y'all. If you smell something burning, it's only your desire.
Me out, and I know how to win business, and are you interested? And
I'm also messy as hell.
Okay.
Right? Like I create, let's have a huge party. Okay. But what are we going to feed the people? Right. Who with the music? I don't care. Let's just have a huge party. So having, a team behind me and having partners, Fritz wrote a check into my businesses to become my partner in these businesses.
Okay.
And then we, everything else, he wrote personal checks to invest with me. But what his first job was, I said, Fritz, these factoring companies don't like us at the brokerage. We're paying slow, right? Because I'm growing like crazy. And, paying in 45 days in all other industries and everything you read is like normal. Bigger shippers will stretch at 60, 90, 120. Right. And I was paying them, but that doesn't work because the brokers, they have to pay the factorers fast because the factorers do more than just give money. They're like the back office. And
some are, if you do it right, you're the back office.
Right. But you can, you guide which brokers to use, which ones don't. And, we knew the market well. And I noticed how many people we were paying to that were our carriers to factorers. But the factorers, when we would call or verify, get questions, they didn't have great service. But Fritz then, saw how powerful factoring companies are. OTR is actually one of their carrier base is bigger than any asset-based carrier out there, right? And so that's very, very large group of people that are getting bad service, right? The broker carrier relationship is so funny because it's like one point the broker's, winning or the carrier's winning or whatever. And that's not true. You're both just participants in a market. Rates are kind of rates. So be nice to people, right? Like the trucker gets kicked.
But there
the
are
whole way
times
through.
where the broker needs a carrier more, right? And then there are times
Oh,
where
right
the
now,
carrier
right
has
now,
more power
right now,
than
right
the-
now, the carrier
broker.
is in an amazing position, right? And rates are raising because of that. But it's a supply and demand market. And so again, with it being a young industry and seeing the talent that was coming to the industry and money coming in and more money keeps coming in, I was like, Fritz, you got to get in the game with me on it. And so he came full bore, moved his family down. And
it took one day, I think, of really hard thought of, I've never really thought of this trucking logistics industry, right? I'm trying to kind of make a name for myself in the New York finance scene and, working hard at it. And, part of me was saying, man, Kevin is super passionate and he's talking about competing against, the big players. And I believe him and I want to be part of this passion and this energy. And the other half was like, man, trucking, it's not something that most people kind of grow up and say they want to get in. But I have to say, after a couple months, I was hooked. And I think a lot of people in this industry feel the same way.
oh, once trucking's in your blood, you're in trucking forever,
That's
one
right.
way or another.
That's right.
And it's fun. Every day's different. Every day's different.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why you see so many people, the trend over 10, 20 years has been people leaving the large asset-based carriers, learning the business through them, and then starting their own operation. And the last 2 years, you've really seen that, pick up as, the market has gotten so favorable for the small guy, right? I'd much rather, do this myself and make more of the economics myself rather than make the rate per mile with the large guy. But you can tell that they have the passion for it and they love the game and they love figuring it out. And I think that's really cool about your program. You're trying to teach everybody, all the tricks of the trade.
For sure.
So it's awesome.
100%. So take me back to that time. First of all, let's date it. What year was that when you started working with C.H. Robinson?
So 99, 2000. So I got the job the fall going into May, but I would go into the office and work 90. So yeah, right at the turn of the century.
Got you. So 2000, and how long were you there?
Was there 3 years?
About 3 years. Okay. So what was the landscape of freight at that time? Just give us an idea what things kind of look
No
like.
smartphones, I can tell you.
Well, okay, so the industry's fragmenting, right? Everyone talks about it being fragmented, but it's fragmenting, right? So you didn't have as many carriers in every state, right? At NTG in Georgia, I think we work with 9,000 different carriers that we've given a load to.
Okay.
Back then, I would say it was probably 3,000. So more and more carriers. So I think there were larger carriers because, again, rates were rates before deregulation. So there wasn't a lot of competitive advantage to being smaller, and you didn't have as many brokers.
Right.
So at the time, I think CH was the only broker over $1 billion. Now I think there's 11 of us.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So you had some spinoffs of CH that were starting. But yeah, it was not as competitive as it is now by any means. Talent was not, the talent was good. There was great talent, but the great talent shined above the rest kind of.
Got it.
Now there's logistics is hot. Freight is amazing. It's on every channel, every newspaper. Supply chain. This Christmas is going to be weird.
Yeah.
Right. And people are going to see the importance of trucking. So way different.
When you say talent, what makes a talented broker? Because that's interesting. You said the talent.
It's a people business. As much as we're all spending on technology and as much as we're pushing, at the end of the day, there will be problems in logistics, probably every day. There will be scheduling. There will be conflicts. There will be equipment that might be needed. There will be all kinds of conversations that have to happen. So first and foremost, a relationship person and, competitive. We post our numbers every day. There's no hiding, and so competitive. And then able to solve problems again, going back to not only being able to have a conversation, but then when something goes down, like how are we going to fix this fast?
Right.
Because that load of carpet, if it doesn't get there on time, you feel like the world's going to explode. Yeah. Right. And don't say to the person, it's just a load of carpet. I did that once.
Because that's everything to
right?
that person.
Right.
You definitely learn about that being part of a small company, right?
Right.
Because every relationship means so much, right? And if you don't communicate well, or if you hide a problem that happened, it costs you. Like you lose that relationship. So I think that it's nice to make some of those mistakes early on, that when you get bigger, you know how to really handle them.
Got you. So after that you said 3 or 4 year tenure, right? At CH?
Yeah, well, not 4.
3 year tenure.
3-ish.
3-ish. What aside from just your own drive and ambition, what lets you know that not only that you were ready to move on and that you wanted to move on and start your own thing, but that you were capable of doing it? What lets you know that would be something that you'd be?
I had won salesman of the quarter, I was top sales in Atlanta. I was involved in hiring and training. I loved the floor. I loved winning a load. I loved booking it. I just loved it.
How many times do you see?
And so he talks about short arms. He talks about short arms but I knew that I was great at it. And so, you were great at things. I thought I was a great football player when I was younger. Yeah. Right. But when I saw real size, real athletes, okay, that wasn't for me. But when I got in the game of broker and freight, it's like, man, I'm in the end. I'm one of the best.
Right.
I'm one of the best.
So you know it's for you.
Yeah.
Got you. So you get started. So you just cold turkey get up and leave CH? Is that how that happens? Or
No.
What's the transition like?
So I actually kind of want to get out of it.
Okay.
I think, once trucking's in your blood, it's in it.
Okay.
Right. At that time, trucking and freight brokerage was not as cool as it is now.
Right.
And you didn't make as much money. So I was married. I had a beautiful daughter who came on, and I wanted to make money. And so I saw people making money faster and selling insurance, financial services. But I had a non-compete too. So if I wanted to get back in the freight game, I had to honor that. And so, I ended up knowing some guys that I played ball with in college and people that I tried to sell financial services to that worked at Waffle House.
Okay.
In their corporate management program, and the pay was pretty good. And I love Waffle House.
Who doesn't love Waffle
Who
House?
doesn't?
I mean,
It's a
after
great
it's a great organization. People don't realize that it's yellow and black.
Okay.
Because of Georgia Tech. Like they get
I didn't know about
amazing grads from Georgia Tech that run that place. Waffle House is one of the most well-run businesses. I mean, it's small. The staff is all the same.
Yeah.
That's a high turnover gig, right? And so as a manager, you always have to be hired. So I learned a lot at Waffle House.
Okay.
Waffle House was cool.
If you want to go to Waffle House with Kevin, you'll learn a lot too. He knows all the tricks of the trade.
Point out things like, hey, that's the fryer, that's this, and this is.
Food's good. It turns fast. The commissary's small, and it's always crowded. So the food's always fresh.
They do have a great system in place, obviously, and to be able to scale
They're
at that
smart,
level.
and I learned a ton. So C.H. Robinson and Waffle House is a great recipe. I mean, it really is.
Top waffle winner right here.
So I was in second, but the guy who actually won it failed his drug test, so I got won it.
What's the top waffle? What is that?
Oh, so you go to training in Norcross. So it's here in Atlanta, and that's one of the reasons that how we created some of our training program. You stay there for a week, and you learn the best practices and hiring and cooking, and then you take tests, and then at the end of the week they give you your grades. Okay. But you got to take a drug test too, a hair drug test.
Got you.
Right. And that like shocked a lot of people. But again, I was a young father and whatever else. So I passed the drug test and got the top waffle. But that guy was awesome. That was in front of me. It was kind of a shame.
Wow. You got to find him today and give him that top waffle back, man. He may need it.
shoot, they probably hired him back with the shortage right now. They should, right?
Yeah, we need people everywhere.
But you're handling a ton of cash. So I understood the drug aspect of it because Waffle House was all cash. I used to go into corporate and be like, man, it drives me crazy. I'm watching these young kids that are coming in, they got $20 and they're figuring out how to only spend that 20 the best possible.
Right.
Like open up for them to be able to spend.
Right.
Let's put an ATM in or whatever. But no, they paid all their vendors in cash. So that's enough about Waffle.
Nah, we could definitely move on from Waffle House, but that's an interesting story. How long did you stay there, just by the way, just so I could...
Through all the holidays, I was there for like a year-ish or so.
Okay.
I mean, once my non-compete was up, I was ready to...
Waiting out the non-compete for the most part, right?
There's still some guys running around here that run around the office that knew Kevin at the time and would come in and place really complicated orders just to make him sweat, at midnight at Waffle House.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So,
but I was an agent, after that for a while because I'd been out of the game, so I needed to get, back into the game, and told the gentleman that took me on as an agent, Donnelly National, Tom Donnelly, that like, hey man, up in Camden, by you guys.
Shout to New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey.
That hey, I'm going to start up and one day go out on my own. He said, let's make some money together while we can, and we're able to put in a lot of systems and cool stuff.
Nice. So you were fully transparent with him. You didn't know what your plans were. You got with the...
Bro, I'd worked at the Waffle House. I wasn't going back to the Waffle House when I knew that I was in the NFL of brokering freight.
100%. All right, cool. All right, so let's keep the story going. So now this is kind of when Fritz comes into play, right? Because when you... Almost. We're getting there. All right, so you work with Donnelly. You said it's Donnelly...
Donnelly National.
Donnelly National. How long are you with them?
2 years.
2 years. Obviously, things go well, right?
Great. We're
you guys
growing
make
like
a lot of money
crazy.
together. You guys do good. Help a lot of people. Add a lot of value to the industry. I'm assuming.
I mean, we were doing what we had to get freight. I mean, I would tell you that we were taking tough loads that were highly competitive, not making great. I mean, we learned the game. I mean, but my core, all those guys, men and women, are still here, right? And so we were learning the business, but then you get hit when we go 2007 to our own MC with the recession, the housing bubble, everything else. So then, freight was not like it is now or other times. And also we had a limited amount of cash and a limited amount of capital to grow. Right. So for those next 4 years, it was like building the base and getting our computer system together the way we needed. Coming from CH, like I needed a good system.
For sure. You knew what you needed.
Yeah, but the off-the-shelf products were not as good. Right. Now you've got good off-the-shelf stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So you had to build something, pretty much, right?
My neighbor across the street's working at Smithfield Foods in their technology group, and I talk freight a lot. And so he's like, I think I can help you build something. Wow. And I was like, 10 minutes later, I was like, you really think you can help me build something? Because... again, but what was out there was built by freight brokers. But now, again, with the money coming back in and the TMSs that are there.
But I think he was early thinking about, we want to be in control of our own data and our own system. And as we grow, we want to be able to change the system to meet our needs, right? And not just be beholden to another company and the changes they make. So I think he was early thinking about that. And I also think... a lot of people underestimate the cash needs for a small freight broker.
Oh man.
Because, they say, you get paid in 30 and you pay your truckers in 30, but no, you get paid in
that's where Fritz came in.
60. So smaller freight brokers, I mean, they have a really hard time just
constraint to growth in a fragmented industry is capital, money, receivables. You got a great asset in a receivable, but you also might only know your local bank. So I'd go into, and by the way, my local bank was incredible to me in the beginning, but I needed a bigger line, right? Every broker I brought on more and more revenue, but meant more costs. Yeah. And so that was not my game.
You have to say like, hey,
C.H. Robinson, I didn't learn that. Right. I learned how to get freight. I learned how to cover it. I learned how to keep the customer happy.
Never had to worry about the money aspect of it.
Right. Never in my life. And so I'm doing that. And I'm doing all the 401k.
Yep.
Like I'd have to put the money in for the 401k and all this and stuff. It was taking away from winning business. And then Fritz, I just knew that his skill set, his people skills, when we were younger, the party, everyone knew where Fritz was, right? Everyone knew about Fritz going to Georgetown. Everyone knew all this cool stuff. I wanted Fritz.
Right.
Right?
Appreciate it.
So
Glad
you
wanted
just
Fritz.
kind of, because did you guys have like a ongoing relationship at that time, aside from like kind of seeing each other every now and again?
Yeah, it started growing.
So now it started growing
as
a
we
little
became
bit.
professionals.
Got you. So now you guys start talking. He's telling you about what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's telling you about what he's doing.
He's getting his CFA, right, which is very tough to get.
Okay.
Right, he's covering stocks. We're now at the party, right? It's not these awkward teens that don't really know how to talk to each other. We've
Right. Good rapport, learning things from each other. I mean, I was covering the casino industry and
I like to
research.
gamble, so
And he had a great, perspective on life. I think being like in kind of real world and not just in Manhattan, right? And I think he caught like the Vegas recession in 2007 and 8 way before most people in New York did, because he saw what's going on in the real world, right?
Right. So the supply chain. So he knows what's happening before.
Yeah, and the people are getting 3 houses that are making $60,000 a year, and say, how can they afford 3 houses? And and turns out there's a huge mortgage crisis that came up about a year later. So, we had really great conversations, and I think in 2010 is when he came to New York to have that customer visit, and we decided to make it official and have me move down and bring the family down to Atlanta.
Okay, cool. So he brings this opportunity to you. Obviously, like you said earlier, it's an entirely new space, right? Yeah. It's trucking. Trucking has finance involved, but it's not finance world, right? You have different type of individuals, different type of players, right? So just kind of transitioning into that and getting into the trucking space, like what did you have to do to kind of understand like what you were getting into?
I mean, I kind of just dove in and
he carried his desk in that we went and bought at a used desk shop. Is when he blew his back out, came home to his wife.
Yeah, day
True
3.
story.
Right.
I mean, just jump in. You got to jump in. I mean, it's very different working for a investment bank that has tens or hundreds of thousands of employees versus a small freight brokerage or small startup company anywhere in the U.S., right? Where if someone within this building, one of these 20 people doesn't make something happen, it doesn't happen.
For sure.
Right? I mean, so it gives you the sense of like, you need to make an impact here if you want this to work. And that's what I loved from Kevin. It was kind of like, the harder we work, the better this is going to be. Like, we have a chance to build something special. I was like, ready for the challenge. And I knew he was. And someone you just want to work with.
So you left your job, cold turkey?
Yeah.
Just got up and said, all right, I'm going to go for it?
Yeah.
What emotions did you go through?
Well, no, he came down. He came to the Christmas party.
Okay.
Right. And he came. Oh, he sniffed. He didn't. I mean, he sniffed hard.
Right.
He was like,
2
let me
days.
see your financials. It's like, Fritz, I don't have financials. Right. I know I have cash flow. I know what comes in, what I can have go out. And I don't, get crazy or whatever else. So
I mean, we can.
I had financials, but they weren't they were not what they needed to be. Okay. So to say, you would not want to present them to a bank.
He had a great foundation of a business, though, right? And worst case, I mean, I'm moving my family, right? I had a newborn son, and moving them to Atlanta out of New York City, where in New York City, when you have a family, a lot of people say, what do I do next? Right? Like, am I moving out to the suburbs and commuting in? How do I find green space and a garage and all these things? Right. So to me, it's like worst case scenario. Now I've moved to Atlanta. There's still a good finance industry here. Best case scenario, we grow this thing into a really special company and help a lot of people and a lot of families. And here we are. We have a lot of people working for us, a lot of clients that I think we provide a really good service to. So it's worked awesome.
For sure. So when you first come into the business, what role are you playing?
Finance role.
Okay.
CFO.
CFO.
Yeah. So really
Fritz
working
Owen,
with
CFA.
CFA,
War chest
CFO.
of cash. We had the speech down to, as a growing broker, these factoring companies were like, whoa, how are your receivables growing so much with us? I'm like, well, I just hired 30 people in the last, year. This is later on as we start doing these hiring classes and start bringing on more and more and more, right? Fritz understands and, knows the way that a finance business thinks and works. He studied them.
Right.
It's what a casino is.
Right.
Right. And
But
so
also learn those relationships, right? And you figured out
Right.
pretty quick, like Kevin said, that factoring companies, really control the market for trucks because they have so many clients. So, out of our payables department, probably factoring companies made up the top 15 payees that we had at NTG at the time, because they work with hundreds
and those
of
carriers
thousands
were
of-
growing.
Yeah.
Those carriers were growing because they didn't have to worry about the back office aspect.
Gotcha.
And I also looked at if someone factored with one of the bigger factoring companies, they got vetted pretty hard because they're getting given cash faster than it delivers.
Right.
So as a broker, I liked that. And also I would send all my checks to one place in a bigger batch. So that makes my back office easier on me as a broker.
Yeah.
Right. And so
started to get to know the factoring companies well and what they looked for. And, we made good relationships with them that allowed us to keep growing as a broker. But then on the flip side, we also, heard a lot from our carrier base about what else they would like to see from their factoring partners. Right. So that's where, Kevin and I always kind of had a thought of maybe getting into the factoring space, but it became very clear to me that, there was a lot of demand for something that wasn't being offered. So, within a year, we started OTR.
You started OTR. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back just a little bit. When you come in that role of CFO, coming into this business, cash intensive business, because you're a numbers guy, right? So automatically you start looking at the books. How do you begin to trim the fat? What are the things that you see automatically that stand out as red flags? Can you talk about that when you first entered the business?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was, too much fat, right? We were just trying to grow the business. It was just a matter of, how to be smart about what clients, what customers you work with. And,
we actually fired some customers that were taking too much time.
Right. So
analyzing
the margin, expand on that. Yeah.
The margin, Fritz would, said, look,
this guy pays us in 120 days, right?
Pays us in 120 days. Your margin is lower. This is not good business. And you're spending all weekend tracking, tracing. This doesn't justify it. Let's go to other channel. There's so much. Freight is an ocean. There is so much business out there, right? So
losing that one guy that pays you in 120 days and using your resources to now focus on people that pay you in 30 days, right? So we started looking at a lot more, credit information. There's a lot of credit information out there in trucking, and seeing, you could tell who was larger shippers, the ones we were working with, and who paid faster. And so we basically tried to incentivize all of our brokers to work more with those guys and kind of give up the relationship with the people that are, paying slower and later,
or the amount of claims,
right?
Just the headache freight, right? You don't need, but the shipping departments in America are getting better and better as well, right? If you're a manufacturer and you make something cool and people want to buy it, you necessarily aren't a great logistics department.
Right.
So you hire people and you're like, oh, you're in logistics, you're in transportation. But now more and more shippers are getting people from logistics in their departments, and they're getting smarter. Mm-hmm. Technology's getting better. Yep. They're using managed trans systems. They're negotiating rates quarterly now instead of annually. They're, just the industry is changing by the day. It's awesome to see. I mean, it's awesome. It's so different. It is so different.
Got you. Okay, so you guys start OTR. So at this point, what is the size of Nolan Transportation Group?
And we probably had 25 or 30 people when I joined, and maybe up to 40 when OTR got started, and
probably 40 million in revenue. Yeah,
about 40 million in revenue. Okay, so you guys start this factoring company now. Obviously, new business, right? New venture. What are you thinking about? How are you guys going to stand out? What are you going to do differently?
First, it was how do we find the money, because every time you bring on a client, right, you're advancing them the money, so it's a very cash.
And I'm hiring salespeople. Right. No, but we're hiring salespeople that are growing fast. So Fritz now, he's got his people to call that will give us money like this, but it's expensive. Right. But it can't, so that's what we do. At one point, OTR had 44 different investors in it.
Wow.
Yeah. So we spent the first year really kind of meeting with everyone we knew in town and telling them about the business and the opportunity, and
we had to move
money.
if it failed. Like 100%, I'm out. I grew up in this town. It's everyone I know,
Right.
family,
Yep.
yeah, everyone. I mean, that's how much I believe,
Yeah.
right? And that takes a crazy amount of faith, right? So we're moving if it fails is basically the
But
story.
also made us really disciplined from day one at OTR, right? Like we needed to make sure we had a very lean operation, that we made money, because otherwise there's no way we could keep raising money at the time. You know, it's like we were not talking to large San Francisco VC funds and trying to raise 20 million at a time. We're asking for $100,000 at a time from, you know, a friend of a friend in Atlanta, right? And in order to get another 100,000 when we needed it, we need to show them that we were spending it wisely and growing the business and making money. So,
Got you. Now, do you start hiring people right away for OTR?
yep, dedicated folks right away at OTR. A few people that had experience.
Grace, who is awesome and incredible at OTR, and so she was my first recruiter at NTG.
Okay.
But she was afraid of flying.
Really?
And I was like, well, dude, we're opening up offices everywhere. You're going to have to be on college campuses or whatever. She was like, well, I heard about this OTR thing y'all are doing. That I was like, all right, you're at OTR. It worked perfect.
Her fear of flying has definitely helped OTR a lot, because otherwise she'd be the head recruiter at NTG.
She's still afraid of flying, or has she gotten over it?
No, she's gotten over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So how many employees did you guys start with at OTR?
About
three to five.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so
Little crossover between the two businesses. But then
businesses.
we separated them immediately.
Okay, so one thing that I definitely notice about your business and your businesses is the culture.
Yeah.
Right? It's very strong culture. People love working here. Is that something that you guys implemented in the very beginning? And if so, how did you
I'll tell you how it happened.
doing that?
People liked working with Kevin. I mean,
Well,
it was not
but
something.
let me tell you.
I don't think it was.
So I see a business as an entity, right? It has a government ID number just like you and I do. It has a social security number, it has a taxpayer ID number. It's a business, it's an entity. And so it needs to be cherished and it needs to be taken care of. And it's a child. And so they go through stages of life. Like NTG, I'm involved in, but not like I was, right? That's an adult. Like that thing is like, you know, it's got its MBA, right? You know, OTR, same thing, right? And so, you know, other businesses we have, MIG, the insurance business is now like in high school, right? And so it's a thing.
Probably
right?
hard
It's
to
not
change
a-
the
yeah.
culture when someone's like in the MBA program, right? But you know, starting out, you just started that way in the beginning, and I think it started. The roots were with Kevin, like I said, and as it expands, you just kind of keep those same, you know, kind of principles. And
What is the culture here?
I mean, I think the culture
Competitive but collegial,
Yeah.
but fun as hell. and
Work hard, get rewarded for your work, right? And work with really good people, and try to aim to do, you know, some things together that other people aren't doing, right? And make a difference in the industry and make an impact on the business, and therefore, you know, make your own life much better and get yourself a lot of opportunity to just keep moving up with the company. You know, obviously, growth helps a lot, right? Yeah. If you're a growth company, it leaves a lot of opportunity out there on the table. And we've had a lot of, you know, really kind of young people out of college, you know, show what they can do very quickly. And we just keep giving them more responsibility and see how much they can handle it. And a lot of people have built really great careers, and it's awesome to watch.
Nice. How much of an advantage does it give you guys kind of being vertically integrated, having different businesses and different, you know, sectors? Like how does that put you?
knowledge. I mean, knowledge is power. And when we work with carriers now, because of our brother or sister next door, you know, we know and we saw and we know what it was like to treat carriers bad. You know, I mean, that's not a good way to work. Like, I'll tell you, for the carriers that are listening, get a carrier sales rep at every big broker that's out there. Google top 50 freight brokers. You probably worked with the majority of them. Get one throat to choke. Get a carrier sales rep, because guess what? Every time you get booked, they get something out of it too. So they're going to want to take care of you with a claim and whatever else, right? Carrier sales is very important to this. That's what I learned at Robinson when we bought American Backhaulers. Like, holy smokes, the way that they treated carriers Command, Coyote, those Chicago groups, right? They had carrier sales. Treat them well. It's not just bingo, because you're going to run across them again and again and again, and they'll remember. And guess what? Technology is getting better. Notes are in the system. That jerk in Dallas just screwed over somebody in Chicago 3 weeks from now.
Right. And there's a digital footprint.
Right.
Somebody knows it. Somebody's noted it somewhere, right?
Yeah. But, so it's just cool, man. It's just really, really cool. The whole, and I think everyone sees that how fragmented this industry is. It's like a giant puzzle every day.
Right. Right. Looking back now and coming kind of full circle, what are some of like the major changes that you see in freight? And, is it better than it was? Is it worse? Like, where is it going? Kind of talk about like what you feel is the future of this industry.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Why?
Because not better. I shouldn't say the word better. Different things are coming in that make everyone more efficient, that the playing field is getting more and more equal. The phone's dangerous. The phone is dangerous, right? Tone is in there. You can tell everything else like that. Well, less and less of that. So rates are becoming more and more and more transparent, right? So it's like deregulation happens. So rates are all over the place. Right. And then now they're going to kind of come back, and then it's going to be about service. It's going to be about scale. Right. Everyone's like, why do you keep growing so much? Why are you hiring? Whatever else? When are you ever going to be happy? I'm like, well, scale matters. So I think in the brokerage side, in about 10 years, you won't have this long a tail. There's 8,000 freight brokers in the US right now, I think. Maybe more, probably more.
Yeah, on the brokerage side, I think scale definitely matters. On the carrier side, I'm not sure if it matters as much. I mean, I think
it doesn't matter at all. It's
with
better.
Technology now that's come in, and partners that like Kevin said, a carrier sales guy can take on basically your sales function, right? You don't need someone in your office making relationships all across the country. You have a freight broker to do that. You don't have to be calling and collecting.
I'm saying right now is a
invoices.
good time to get into the industry, because rates still are all over the place. Don't get me wrong. It's still young. It's younger. This baby of an industry is younger than I am.
Right.
I'm just saying that in 10 years, 15 years from now, I think it will be harder because of the money that's coming in. Because like it's like now is very, very important in our industry right now.
Do you feel like that efficiency that you're talking about in tech will like in some ways replace or like take over some of the functions that you guys do on an everyday basis? No.
I mean, that we're creating those. We're spending. I mean, Fritz is, got a technology team. Fritz is a technology. I mean, OTR is a technology business.
Yeah, but so what we do see though is when we do introduce a new technology, right? Just an easier way to, send in your bills or check credit. We're able to use our team to do more value-added relationship building type of things, right? So yeah, I do think technology is a huge help and makes us more efficient. I don't think we ever want to reduce our team to all technology, no people, because I think there's always a place for people and relationship solving problems that tech can't do. Right.
Oh yeah. People are the number one asset, right? It's just people will do different things, right? Again, our people will be able to gain more business, be able to work through problems and other things. Yeah, there are mundane tasks in logistics,
right?
Still very paper heavy. All bill of ladings are pretty much different. Rate cons are different. All people, still fragmented. So
that's what smartphones are helping with, right? Now that everyone has one, you can interface with them differently, right? And it's learning how the best way people want to interface with you, right? And it's easiest for them, right? We want to make their lives easier. We want to make our clients' lives easier.
But we would like to do less. I'm sure Fritz would like to do less rate verification check calls and all that.
Right.
Every broker in America hates getting those calls from factoring companies, right? So that will hopefully get easier and better.
Oh yeah, that will get solved.
And that's with integrations and the technologies, the Problem is every freight broker pretty much has their own technology
Right.
of the large ones because they were started before all this better off the shelf stuff comes.
Right.
But as we solve those issues, we can worry about new issues, right? So now, hey, we make it much easier for them to submit their paperwork and get paid. So now let's focus on getting them, helping them find better freight, right? And providing them tools to do their business better and make it more efficient and have them save more money. Right?
What about carriers adapting to technology? Like, is there a disconnect there ever to where
The carriers are better now. The small carrier is really good. The small carrier from a technology standpoint is better than a large carrier.
Really?
Because they're using technology in their everyday lives and everything else that's not as behind as trucking.
Right.
Right? The small trucker's doing other things during the day besides just trucking for the most part, a lot of them. Right. And so they're especially on the dispatch side, I'm saying, and on the booking and finding loads and everything else. So I think they're the smaller carriers forcing the industry to get better because there's enough demand for them to win business.
Got you. What's the biggest lesson you guys learned in the time you've been running these companies? If there's one thing that you could do differently that would have maybe impacted today, what would that be?
One thing differently. I mean, I love what we've done. Everyone's always asked kind of what my favorite thing about the business is. And I just love watching, kind of people keep making that impact on us and on our clients. So I think we're doing a lot of things right and want to keep pushing that. But, I think not being content with where we are and always wanting to get better is something that it's a constant improvement, right? And so it's like, if there's no one else to compete with, we can always compete with ourselves and make ourselves better. And we just had, like 30 awesome clients come in and do a focus group with us. And it was awesome picking their brains on what we can do better. So we're going to be working hard in the next, 12, 24 months to put a lot of those things in place. So I'm excited about, all these opportunities we have definitely in the future to keep moving things forward.
I love that. How do you stay motivated, Kevin?
Oh man, Fritz has seen it. In the morning, I'm a wreck. Much less of a wreck now since I'm behaving way better in life. But I wake up every day and say I haven't done anything good yet today. And then also I have 3 daughters and a wife that demand excellence like I demand excellence in work, right? So they let me know that the sheriff and her deputies stay on me. I don't, and these young men and women and older men, all of us that work together, like seeing these businesses change lives is incredible. Buy their first home, they have children, people are sending their kids to college and they're able to afford it easy because they're making money and we're hitting numbers. It's just cool. So,
in the same way, having clients have been with us for, 5 or 10 years saying that they've grown their business from 1 to 10 trucks, right? And that they
there's a study on
that.
that.
I mean,
so truckers that factor grow faster than truckers that don't.
And stay in business. I saw that stat.
Expand on that a little bit and why that's the case?
Because I think they get a lot more support rather than just being out there on their own, right? So if you're one person,
if we
trying
won't
to
buy
do
the
everything,
load, you don't want to take that load.
yeah.
Right. And also, would you rather send 10 invoices to one place or send them to 8 different? Because no broker controls more than, CH might have a couple percent. Right. So you're never going to get all your loads from the same broker. That's why you want to have carrier sales reps at all the big brokers. So you're not dealing with thousands of different people in these larger brokers. You got one person to talk to.
If you're getting all your loads from one broker, you're probably not getting the best rate, right?
Right.
Consistently.
Right.
I mean, you have to survey the market a little bit too.
But we also know rates, right? And we know freight because we see a lot of it, right? Billions of dollars of spot freight runs through OTR. So if your account rep is good, they will let you know if you're out of bounds or not. Like, bro, you just got ripped off.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so that's very important. Right. But I mean, they have access to capital. That's why they grow.
Yeah. Got you. We have a lot of aspiring business people, a lot of aspiring freight brokers who watch this show. If they wanted to, they're watching this right now, and one day they want to compete with you guys, what would you tell them?
Strap up, man. We're going hard. I mean, we're going to keep growing, but have fun with it. Enjoy the ride. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be really stressful. The market moves up and down a lot. In the 20 years that I've been in the freight industry now, there are ups and downs. And 2019 was a bad year, right? We grew because we grew load count, but like you have to know that the markets move. It's volatile. Every day's different, and have fun. That's the main thing is have fun.
Keep hustling. Keep hustling.
Keep hustling?
Yeah.
Keep on
It's
going.
there. I mean, like Kevin said, it's a very fragmented and fragmenting industry. Business is there to be won for brokers, for carriers,
and take care of your people.
everybody.
Take care of your people first and foremost. It's not just about you. That's none of the other business I started had my name in it. The reason why NTG has my name in it is because I needed a job and I needed something fast to put on my agency form, right, with Donnelly, so the checks would come to an LLC. So, like, it's not about you; it's about your team. Always about your team and winning. Like, I don't own the majority of NTG. I don't own the majority of OTR. When we did our last NTG deal, 44 people got big checks, right? To attack this ocean that's out there, you need a lot of people holding the net with you, right? Don't run out with your one fishing pole, right? And don't be afraid to not pay yourself a lot. First 3 years I was in this business, I paid myself $500 a week. Now, I had a wonderful wife who had a great job and had health insurance and other stuff like that. So, you don't get rich fast in this business. It takes time and energy and just having fun, and it's part of your life.
I think it's so important that people hear that. In true truck and hustle fashion, we always have a final thought from our guests. And that final thought could be anything, whether it's financially related, entrepreneurial related, spiritually, wherever you want to go with it. And then lastly, we always let, our guests, let people know where they can connect with them and kind of learn more about their businesses. So I want to give you guys opportunity to do a final thought. We'll start with you, Fritz. Just give the people a little jewel to walk away with.
A little jewel. I guess if you get a chance to ever work with Kevin Nolan in your life, you should take it. No, but honestly, it's a great industry. Like I said, it's a work hard industry, and if you want to succeed, you can here, and there's enough to go around. But do things the right way. In trucking, a lot of people said it's the wild, wild west. And, there's some bad actors out there, but, if you spend your time focusing on doing things right and not trying to take shortcuts, it's going to be better in the long run, and treat people well, right? Because you're going to meet them again in this industry. It's a great place to be. So I'm really happy to be part of it.
I love that. Kevin.
Thank you. I know that I'm passionate about this. I love it. But this is so cool. I love watching our industry transform. To say that I would be on a podcast that's going to be on social media platforms 10, 15 years ago, I would have never thought of that. Right. So you guys are able to reach many, many people. And the other thing I really want to say is thank you to the men and women that have taken loads from NTG. In the beginning, I might not have paid you as fast as I do now, right? And then to the brokers that are out there that pay OTR when they, bang down your door or turn you off or whatever else, understand that this cash is not our cash. Like, we have investors and returns and things that need to happen. And if we do it right, we're all going to be happy. And, you can find me on LinkedIn. Kevin Nolan. I love LinkedIn. It's kind of, again, my social. It's like I'm not on Snap or all the stuff my daughter Insta or TikTok or whatever. They show me some cool stuff, but like that's my fun area is LinkedIn.
Yeah, we're going to be putting out more content, I think, in the next year or two about, things to help all the owner operators out there, so they don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? Getting some lessons from some of our current clients on how they do things best and how they've been able to grow their businesses. So, check us out, the OTR Capital and Marquee Insurance Group, marqueeig.com, social media pages, and look for that new content coming out.
Nice. Well, this has been amazing, guys. Great conversation. I had a lot of fun. Got to learn a lot about the businesses, about you guys personally. And it's that time, man. You guys know what happens now, right? If you smell something burning, it's only a desire. Truck and Hustle, myself, Kevin, Fritz, we're out.
If you twisted, confused, or stuck about trucks, don't be dumb. This is the place to come. Truck and